Hi there. Today, I'd want us to look at how to sew this beautiful ready-made sleeveless back cutout hole peplum hem dress with jersey knit fabric. Very easy and beginner friendly. If there's something you'd love to do, stick around and let's do it together. To design our beautiful style, we first would have to get our measurement. The shoulder to shoulder is 14 and a half. The bust is 34. Waist 24. Hip 40. Around arm 12. The shoulder to nipple is 10 and a half. Shoulder to waist 16 and a half. The shoulder to hip 24 and a half. The dress length is 38 and then the sleeve length is 22, all in inches. Because this is a rib knit fabric, we're going to calculate 10% off all the horizontal measurements. And so the shoulder to shoulder, which was 14 and a half, calculating 10% off it will give us 1.45. And so we subtract the 1.45 from the 14 and a half or 14.5. And then we get 13.05, which is almost 13 inches. Then we'll go to the bust measurement, which used to be 34. Calculating 10% will give us 3.4. 3.4 minus 34 will give us 30.6, which is almost 30 and a half. The waist, which was 24, minus 10% of 2.4 will give us 21.6, which is also just like 21 and a half. The hip was 40. 10% of 40 will give us 4 inches. So 4 minus the 40 will give us 36. And the round arm was 12 inches minus 1.2, which is the 10%, would also give us 10.8. And so these are the horizontal measurements to which we are calculating the 10%. The shoulder to nipple, the shoulder to waist, the shoulder to hip, the dress length, and the sleeve length are all vertical measurements, and so they are excluded from the 10% calculation. We'll start by dividing our highest horizontal measurement into 4. In this instance, it is the hip, which is 36 inches. And so divided by 4 gives us 9 inches. And so we're going to fold our fabric using the 9 inches. We'll draw this line to serve as our starting line. Then we mark 31 inches from the shoulder to the knee. This is minus the 8 inches that will be used for the peplum hem. Then we mark shoulder to nipple, shoulder to waist, shoulder to hip. And then we square those lines. Then we mark our shoulder to shoulder divided by 2, our shoulder slope of 1.5, then 3 inches neck width. We connect these 2 points. We mark our arm depth line, that is our round arm divided by 2. Then we square that to the bust measurement divided by 4 without any seam allowance, the waist divided by 4, and the hip divided by 4. For the knee line, is the hip divided by 4 minus 2 inches, then we mark. Then, when it comes to the shoulder to nipple point, we would as well use the same as we had done for the arm depth or the chest line. And so it's the bust divided by 4. Then we connect these points. We mark our armhole, and then we mark 3 inches. 1 inch at the center front. We widen the neck width by half of an inch. Then we draw a line to connect these to give us our neckline. We mark 1.5 inches from the shoulder to nipple point. Then 1.5 shoulder length. We connect these 2 points using an arc or a curve. We'll go ahead and cut this out. In case you are new to our channel, please don't forget to subscribe. You may also share with us your comment. You can as well share this for others to see. Would be much appreciative. We placed what we just cut on another fabric, refine the neckline for the back pattern, and then do same for the armhole. Then we cut. For the peplum hem, we need 2 layers. One is made up of 8 inches and the other is 6 inches. we are cutting 2 of the 8 inches, and then we would as well cut 2 of the 6 inches. This is the 8 inches we are cutting, and after that we'll cut that of the 6 inches, 2 each. With the help of an arrow hem foot, we are finishing the edges of the 8 inches and the 6 inches peplum hems that we just cut. In case you do not have an arrow hem foot as we do, you may as well knitting the edges, flip it over just once and then top stitch. It will give you a similar result. And so repeat same for the other pieces. With the help of a ruffler foot, we are going to gather the 8 inches and the 6 inches pieces that we just cut for the hem. In case you do not have this foot too, you may as well run 2 loose stitches on the edges, then you gather them as we normally do. We also have a video of these various foots as we've talked about in the video, and I'll put the link in the description box. After we are done with the gathers, we'll place them on the hem of the bodice itself. We first place the 6 inches, pin it, and then followed by the 8 inches. We take this to our sewing machine and then we stitch it in place. After stitching, we'll join the shoulders. We'll stitch this as well. Then, with the help of an arrow hem foot, as we said earlier, we'll finish the neckline. In case you do not have this, you are at liberty to knitting the neck and also running stitches on the edge just to finish it. After that, we also finish the armhole using the same narrow hem foot. After that, we'll go ahead and stitch the side seams. Remember, we did not add any seam allowance to it, and so we just stitch 1/4 inch throughout. Making sure that the peplum hem is matched. That is, the 6 inches and the 8 inches are matched exactly so that it looks neat. After this, we trim off the excess. Then repeat same for the other side. And so this is it, neatly done. But then when you look at it very well, you can see that the strap is a bit loose. And so we'll just stitch about 2 inches off. Yeah, this is it when we hold it. And so we're going to stitch this off. And this is what you see after we have stitched it. It looks very well finished as compared to the very first one. To make it more daring, we're going to cut the back. And so we're drawing a line on the shoulder to waist line. Then we mark a hole at the back. A little goes to the center front. Then we cut it out. Then we want to cut our bias. And this bias, we want 28 inches length by 2 inches width. And so what you are doing is that we'll mark 20 inches on the grain. That is along the grain and then across the grain. So we get our 28 inches. We draw a line to connect them. Then we mark our 2 inches. We cut. Now, we're going to fold this and give it a hot press. After pressing, we're going to finish the cut. That is, we pipe it. When piping, because of the cut we had done at the back, we would have to stretch the bias so that it's made strong. It doesn't get loose at the back where the cut was. And so we stitch it through. Then we top stitch. When you look at the edges like this, we're going to stitch about 1/2 inch as if we are stitching a dot on both sides. And this is to make the edge a bit stronger and more refined. After we stitch this, our dress is beautifully done, as you can see. Very, very nice. So we thank you so much for watching from start to finish.